ask what your age is at the moment?
I'm past 76.
I'd like to have a chat about the incident you got in touch with Dean about. Now, when did that take place?
I'm not real sure, but on the 13th or 14th, about 1938 or 1939.
Do you remember what time of the year it was?
I think it was early in the winter, just after the end of the summer. We used to go up to scrub shooting wallabies, being the mate of the little red-backed scrub wallabies. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy vine scrub up there them days. See, that's going back over 60 years.
Yeah, long time.
It's all gone now.
Well, where exactly did this incident take place?
Well, it's up behind, between Nanango and Maidenwell, there's a behind the Tarlong Forest station where it is now.
What's the nearest sort of decent-sized town to the Tarlong power station?
Nanango.
Oh, Menacing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nanango. We had a couple of little short 22p rifles, and we used to go up there and shoot a few of these ruddy rump wallabies, see? And it was a pretty cloudy and a damp day, and the scrub was pretty thick, so you had to be pretty quiet or you wouldn't see them. But they'd hear you coming, they'd go, so we were just creeping through this scrub, vines and that, and we come through and we just stood up there, and about 20 feet away, this great big yellow thing was standing with his back up against a tree. I think he got a bigger fright than we got. He just stood there with his two arms up on either side and just snarled at us, opened his mouth and he growled at us. And we thought, well, the quicker we get out of here, the better. I suppose we could have shot him, but we never even entered our mind about shooting him, because, like I say, we got a fright, and so did he. And as we walked, he kept his back to the tree, and he watched us till we got out of sight. And then we went back in on the edge of the forest. See, that was just off the edge of the forest where the bastard scrub is. Yeah, so that was that.
You weren't alone at the time?
No.
How many people were with you?
Oh, there's another mate of mine, Clyde Parsons, with his name. I don't know if he's still alive or not, but...
Clyde Parsons?
Yeah.
Okay, so you headed up in the scrub. Was this a long way off the main road? I mean, was it fairly deep into the scrub there, or...?
Oh, yes.
How long did it take you to get into this particular location?
Oh, well, from Westbury, I suppose it'd be a couple of miles up into the scrub, Like I say, you're off the edge of the forest, in the bastard scrub, you know what that is, between the scrub and the forest. Oh, it'd be after lunch, I'd say.
Okay, but in full sunlight?
Oh, yes.
You were walking pretty quietly along?
Oh, we were sneaking. Because as I say, those wallabies are pretty timid. I heard you crack a branch or break a branch, they'd be gone, see? No, we just going through this scrub, seeing there's a lot of vines there, and you bend it down, and we just stood up, and you get a little open space, you stand up, and there's this big tree and this big yellow thing. We've called it the yellow thing ever since, Oh, I'd say it's only about 20 feet away, but it's at his back up against, there's a fair lump of, I don't know, it was a pine, I don't think it was a pine tree, it was just another fair lump of tree, you see. And he was standing up there, full stretch up, and he put his hands above his head on either side,
On either side of the tree?
No, by the side of his hands, on either side of his head, he had hands up his side.
You mean it's a bit like when somebody puts their hand up to surrender?
With his palms out towards us,
Did he actually make that movement when you came upon him, or he already had his hands up when you first saw him?
As soon as we spotted him, he put his hands up. And he growled, snarled. More or less to say, well, you better get out of here.
Now, you said it had its back up against the tree. What, it was just leaning against the tree first and its hands were by its side?
No, never we stands the tree, he just stood straight up against, backed up against the tree and put his both hands up above on each side of his head and snarled at us. With his paws outside, and the claws out.
Now, you mentioned the colour. What was the colour of this thing?
Oh, well, we always call it the yellow hairy thing. But, with the rusty yellow looking.
Or sort of a rusty yellow.
Yeah.
Would you say it was like was it like a tan colour or a sandy colour, or more towards the yellow, or more towards the rusty sort of brown colour, or?
More towards the yellow. Yeah.
So it's kind of a bright looking thing.
Yeah, and I still got it imprinted on my mind to this day. I can still see that big yellow fella standing up against that tree and growling at us.
Yeah, it'd leave quite an impression.
Oh, yes.
So how tall was it standing?
Oh, well, it's just, I'd say it'd be a good 6 foot. It might be a bit more here, but it's pretty broad too.
Broad where?
Across the shoulders, and its legs are all, hairy, like furry all the way down, instead of just like us with ordinary legs below pretty wide.
Now the hair on it, was it short hair or long hair?
Oh, well, it was like a fur. It wasn't the hair, actually, I don't think. It was more like a fur on it.
Was it wild hair or quite neat and tidy like a bear?
Oh, it was pretty rough looking.
Did it look clean or sort of dirty? You know how sometimes animals can get pretty dirty?
It wasn't too disabled or anything like that. It was quite okay.
When you first looked at it, what was your first impression of what you were looking at? Did you think you were looking at a wild person or a wild animal or a monkey or a gorilla or...?
Well, I thought, if we're looking at a wild person, he's running a hell of a risk there, and that was us two blokes there with the 22 each in front of him, so he'd be pretty fool. And another thing, how did anybody know that we were up in there doing the shoot?
Did you get the impression that it was an animal or a person?
Oh yes.
And looking at it, thinking back of what it looked like, what was the closest thing that you would say that it looked like? I mean, if you would describe something like...
It seemed to have a fairly broad forehead and, wide across the shoulders.
Did it look anything like... Did it look sort of more like a human or more like an ape?
Oh, I'd say it was real ape-like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, did it look like a chimpanzee or look like a gorilla?
Oh, well, now you're putting a bit... you're touching me a bit now.
Yeah, well, that's all right. You got a good look at its face, though?
If you asked me next day, I might have been able to tell you, but it's just...
Long time now.
Long ago now.
But,
It's definitely an animal impression.
let's just go back to the height. You said it was about over 6 foot or under 6 foot, do you think?
Oh, it'd be a good 6 foot, might be even a bit taller.
And its arms, did it have sort of short arms like a person or longer arms?
But fairly long arms, because they reached fairly up above his head, you know.
Oh, okay. And that was its first reaction when it saw you, was to put its arms up and...
And growl at it. See, the growl was the thing that impressed me, like it just said, well, you better get out of here because I don't want you here, you know.
What sort of a growl was it? Was it like a rrr, or was it like a bark?
I said, well, we better go, because I think he got a bigger fright than we did.
Okay, as soon as it growled at you, did you take off, basically, or did you stick around for a little bit?
We just wandered off slowly because we didn't want to run because he might have took after us.
It basically, all that time, it kept its hands above its head?
Yeah.
All that time that you were sort of backing off?
But like, there wasn't a great space of time, I can tell you that. We didn't hang around. Oh.
Did you hear it move off, or was it still there when you left, basically just standing there?
Kept us back against a tree and it walked around with his back against the tree till we got out of sight. We walked around to go back out the scrub, see? Followed us with his eyes round the back of the tree till we got out of sight, and after that I don't know what happened to him. We couldn't get out quick enough.
Was it shaped like a person or different shape?
No, it was shaped like a person, and it was very, very broad across the shoulders.
About how broad would you say? Broader than just a human that size, you know?
Oh, well, it was fairly nuggety.
Quite a solid thing.
Yeah, fairly broad, yeah.
Thinnish, or did it look quite muscly?
Oh, no, it was pretty solid, as I said. And his legs, even, I don't know how much fur was on him, how big his body was without the fur on it, that's another thing. Yeah.
Did it have a short neck or a long neck?
Only short neck.
Okay, short neck.
Yeah.
Did you see features on the face? You mentioned that he saw its eyes sort of following you around. Did you see a mouth and a nose and things like that?
Oh, yes, it had teeth when it opened its mouth to growl at us.
Did you notice the teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how a dog has canines? Did it have any longer teeth than other teeth?
I thought there were more fangs than teeth. Yeah.
They all look pointed, or some of them look pointed?
Oh, well, fairly long, savage, looking like a, and it had fairly big ears.
Big ears. The ears were noticeable. Were they covered with hair, or?
Yeah.
So you could see it underneath the hair?
Yeah. Well, they were sticking out there, you couldn't miss them.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. And what sort of a nose did it have? A long nose or a...
More in the flattish nose.
What was this? Was skin visible on the face, or was it all pretty much...
There was a bit of... skin looked a bit dark on the face, but it had a lot of hair on it, you know.
Oh, okay.
It had hair, scruffy looking hair on its head.
The hair on the head the same length as the other, or a bit longer or a bit shorter, or...?
Oh, about the same. It looked pretty average right through. Same crop of fur, whatever.
You know how some apes have a bit of a protruding face? Did it look like it had that, or did it have a flat sort of face?
Well, it was fairly flat and broad. You know, like, I suppose you see these Asian men, it looked a bit like one of them at one point. Yeah.
You noticed the hands. When it had its hands, what colour was the skin on its hands? You know, it had its palms facing you?
Side of sand was like what I still feel it dark, dark skin or whatever. There's no hair in his hands inside.
But it was a darkish coloured skin.
Oh, well, brown, with the same with his, compared with his yellow fur and that.
Well, when it sort of held its hands out to you, could you see fingers?
Oh, yeah, but they weren't sticking up, they sort of curled like a claw. Yeah.
That's interesting, sort of curled over.
Yeah, like it was gonna grab you.
But anyway, you could imitate the growl that it made?
Oh, well, I just, he just put his hands up and went, ah. Yeah.
Did it only do it once, or did it do it more than once?
I probably done it once or twice. But like I say, we didn't hang around. We got, I think if you seen it, I think you might have been turning your back too.
So did you just back away from it, or back into the scrub? And what did you say to your friend?
Walked side on, and kept our eye on it, looking back to it all until we got out of sight.
Okay, so you sort of moved off to the side.
Then we moved off to the side, yeah, and as I say, it followed us around the bowl of the tree, and we got out, wasn't far to the edge of the scrub onto the forest. Once we got out to the open forest, we just bolted.
Did you ever speak about it again?
Oh, yes, like it's common knowledge up there, up around where the farm is up there, yeah. Oh, we still got the farm up there, yeah.
There'd been stories of these things around that area for some time?
Oh, I don't know. See, back in them days, nobody took much notice of it. It's only this last 20 or 30 years that they've come to light again, haven't it?
Did you ever hear other stories around the bush up there at the time, or just people weren't talking about it, do you think?
No. There's a hell of a mountain range up there. When we go down to Rath Downey and Bow Desert, Burn of Plain Bowl, when you see the mountain, Mount Lindsay and Mount Barney and Flinders Peak, and there's a lot of them places no man's ever set foot on.
Oh, there's some wild country out there, that's for sure.
Like, yeah, they're wild animals. They live by sense. They're not going to hang around. They can hear us before you can see them.
Oh, and you were moving very quietly. That's
Oh, yeah, that's the only reason, right? That's still, I say to this day, that's the only reason we ever come across it.
From the time when you first sort of came upon it, and saw it, and it made the noise and stuff, and then you backed away, about how long all up was that? Was it less than a minute, do you think?
Oh, well, I reckon it was. Time went pretty quick. Just turned around and I'm sideways and kept watching him in case he charged us, and we just kept going, and he just kept following us around the bow of that tree.
Was it a pretty wide tree that he was up against?
It's a pretty big fair lump of tree, see, it wasn't far off the edge of this forest.
Between you and this animal, there wasn't very much bush, was there? Was it pretty open? I mean, relatively?
Little open space there, yeah.
So you had a good look at it?
Oh, yes, oh my word, he's out in the open, there's no two ways about that.
Gee, it must have been in your mind for a long time about this. I mean, you would have made quite an impression on you, I guess.
Oh, I'll never forget it, ever.
You told many people about this? You told a few people, Clyde?
Oh, well, you've told a lot of people, yeah, but you've told a lot of people too, and you know what they tell you, don't you?
When you say something looks yellow, I think, oh, really bright yellow, but was it...
I think it's put it down as I suppose the closest I could get to it would be a camel.
Camel colour?
Rusty yellow. To get what I'm at.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So it wasn't incredibly bright, but it just was that lightish, sort of sandy, yellowish colour.
Oh, it wasn't bright yellow, no.
When it sort of roared at you, it kept its hands above its head, and its hands were above its head the whole time when you backed off?
But its fingers curled up, like it was going to grab us and scratch you or rip you open.
Did that the whole time when you backed off, or as it backed around the tree, or was moving around the tree watching you?
Yeah, well, it put its hands down then as we walked off.
But it was still watching you the whole way?
Right, as I say, it followed the tree around. It's kept us back to the tree and walked around and watched us till we got out of sight. The same as we watched it till we got out of sight.
Yeah, very interesting, Clyde. Clyde, I'm going to turn the tape recorder off now.
Oh, yeah.